Hey everybody, it's ET, and let's do part 2 of Blendshape characters. So last time we got to this point where basically we've made a control property for a DAZ 3D character, and then we exported that character from DAZ 3D to Unity. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make animations and combine animations in Unity for those morphs. So, okay, what I have here is just simply the character that we made, so male, and then when I imported to Unity, it made these two folders, male images and materials, and so that's all the textures for the male and the materials that go with those textures. So first thing you'll probably notice coming straight from Daz is that the eyes are white and the eyelashes are black, and that's because some opacity is not coming on over, and I'm just going to show you a quick and dirty fix. There's probably much better fixes out there, but just so that it looks presentable in Unity. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and go to the mail, and if you actually go to the shape itself, you'll see all the different materials that are applied to this. So that's everything here in that materials folder. Okay, so what we can do here is like eye moisture. So eye moisture right now is this gray color that's just kind of on top of everything. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and make that transparent and make it completely transparent. So okay, yeah, it's looking a little better. Uh, cool. So then we're going to go down to cornea. And cornea is kind of the same issue. We're going to go ahead and say it's transparent and go ahead and make it completely transparent. And alright, now we got these like devilish eyes. And that is because the eye texture itself is black. And so what we got to do is bring that up to white. And if I zoom in a little bit here, we can see that we're getting much better results, not those white eyeballs. If you want to play around with some of the settings, if you put both of these to 0, 0, you get this kind of flat setting, but then you can kind of start making it like, I think 0.5, 0.5 gives it a little bit of sheen, but then also note that you have the other two textures, and such as the what was it? The eye moisture and cornea, and maybe you want to play with those settings a little, like cut them out completely. But for right now, this is a quick dirty fix. And then also those eyelashes are completely black, so that kind of looks like he has black eyes if you look at him, like someone punched him in both eyes. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to the eyelashes. I'm going to make it transparent, but instead of transparent, I'm gonna go ahead and just say cut out, and basically it just like removes it all together. So there you go. Now you got kind of the eyelashes gone and the eyes there. So great. So we're getting there. So what's next is we want to make animations. So you can see that the other file besides mail.fbx is this idle.fbx. And if I look at both of them right now, you can see in the rig they're generic. So what we're going to do is make them both a humanoid, because I don't think the bone names match. So this guy starts with SWAT hips, and this guy just starts with, oh, it's not even on this level. So anyway, I think it's hips. So the names of the bones don't match. So what Unity has is this humanoid character where all the bone names can start matching, and it knows like, oh, these hips are equal to these hips. And that should be just fine. Alright, so here we go. Humanoid. Go ahead, hit apply. And good. And humanoid here, apply. I think they're just going to work just fine, but if not, you'll probably have to look for other tutorials on how to actually configure the avatar if you notice that some of the bones are offset or kind of weird looking. But I think this is going to work just fine. So okay, they're both humanoid, and so that means I can apply the animations from idle, which I do have one idle animation here, into male. So to do that, what I'm going to do is go here. I'm going to go ahead and create a whole new animation controller for this animator. So yeah, new animation controller, and we'll just call it animator. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that over to male. And then I'm going to open that up by just double clicking on it. And there we go, we got the animator. And what I'm going to do here is just bring over the idle animation straight from here by dragging it into here. And so now we have the idle animation, and yeah, if you double click it, it will give you a preview of the Unity guy himself doing it. And maybe it's a little off, but we'll just keep it there for now. Okay, so that's the basic Unity guy doing it. So cool. And that is the default state because it's orange. It's the only animation on this controller. So if I hit play, fingers crossed, he will just do the idle animation. And there you go. He's just kind of standing there. Now the goal is for him to stand idle but still have his expressions on his face. So that's what we'll build next. So to do that, we're going to open up the animator again, and so there's layers in the animator. So right now, the base layer will just be his actual animation, but then we'll add another layer of his expressions. So to do that, we'll hit the plus sign here, and then we'll just call this the face layer. Or something else. Face might not be the most accurate one here, but for this example, it's pretty good. Okay, so we have the face layer, and what we're going to do here is actually make some animations. So we're going to create 3 of them. We're going to have a neutral face, a happy face, and an angry face. So we're going to go ahead and click on animation, and we'll just say this one's neutral. And this one we're going to leave as is. There's nothing needed to be done here. Neutral is just your base nothing, right? So this is your base level. Okay, and then what we're going to do next is happy. And so we can bring that over here. And the next one we're going to do is angry. And we can bring that over here. So okay, so we have all our states, but we haven't really specified what they're doing or how they're animating. So that is the next step here. So we're gonna go ahead and click on our guy here, and then if you don't have an animations tab already, I'll close that out. You can just right-click on any of these at the bottom or wherever you want to add it. You can say Add Tab, Animation. And now we get the idle animation, which is this really complicated thing. But if you click on the idle animation here at the top left, we'll see the other animations that are available from the animator. So we added those 3, and that's why they're there. Okay, so let's go ahead and neutral, we're not touching. Let's go to the happy. So happy, this is all in seconds. I'm going to go halfway, so half a second, so that's 30 out of 60 half seconds. I don't know what unit it is. Milliseconds, I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. 300 milliseconds. 30 centiseconds. I don't know. All right. Anyway, so we're at 30 here, and what we're going to do is go over. Oh, we're going to start recording. We don't have to start recording yet. So we're going to just go over to the shape where our blend shapes exist, and then at this point, we're here at the 30-second part, or 30 half second or whatever. We're going to go ahead and start recording, and then we're going to change this value from 0 to 100. And then we're going to stop recording. Okay, and then we're going to go to mail. Alright, I had this issue before, and we're going to fix this in just a bit. But basically, when you start making empty animations, he's going to go into his default Unity humanoid pose, which is kind of this weird looking, like, I don't even know what it is. So we're going to go ahead and set up our animations now, delete the guy, and just re-add him, and it should be fine. But anyway, if you really kind of want to see it right now without doing anything else, without deleting, you can go to the idle animation, come up here, and then choose the happy. Oh, I guess it's because the happy animation doesn't have any other information except the face. It doesn't know how to pose the guy. So I guess that's why it's all freaking out. But just make sure his mouth is moving towards at least the general direction. We will address the other part in just a second here. Okay, so that looks fine. Let's go ahead and do the angry animation. So just go over to angry, same thing, half a second here. And select the shape and start recording. And don't worry about the happy right now. Just go to the angry and go 100. Okay, and so now he's angry. Cool. Stop recording, and just make sure that the one property that you're modifying is the morph that you want. If you start seeing multiple morphs, unless you know what you're doing and you want all the morphs there, just make sure that one morph is on the line. If you see multiple, like if I start, let's just do one. If I accidentally did surprise too, and I'm like, oh, Man, I did not want to do surprise. Just go ahead and kind of see what you're dealing with here. So the surprise one, click on it and delete it, and don't worry about that one. This animation's just dealing with the angry expression. And you just give it a shot, just make sure it all works. Okay, so we got happy, we got angry, and we got neutral. Neutral's just blank. Okay, like I said, we want to fix this. I can't find a good way to fix it without just recreating the model. So like I put him on idle, and like I'm hoping that would fix it, but if I hit play and then stop it, he goes back to his like crazy default position. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this, and we're just gonna put male back in there, flip him around, and he's fine now. He's back to what he was doing originally. And I even think if you look at the animations for him, they're much better now. So if I put the animator on here and I do, happy. Oh, no, I lied. All right, so don't do that. Don't do what I did. I think I looked online. I think like prefabs might fix it, but for now we'll just leave it like this, and we won't touch it from here on out. Okay. So our goal here is to go from neutral to happy to angry. So hopefully happy is the happy animation, angry is the angry animation. Now we just got to make transitions to go between each one. So I'm going to say make transition by right-clicking on it and then dragging it over here. Right-click, left-click, bring it over here, left-click, right-click, make transition, go over here, and then left-click. All right, so we have the transitions. And what I want to do is wait 3 seconds before each transition. From the start time of the animation. So it has exit time. Cool. If I go to the settings, I'm just going to change that from 0.75 to 3. I'm going to do that for each of the transitions. So it has exit time. Exit time is 3. And has exit time is 3. So okay, he should be going between these 3 stages, starting from neutral. So in 3 seconds he'll go to happy, in 3 seconds he'll go to angry, and then in 3 seconds he'll go to neutral. So let's see if that works. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Oh, and did I do something wrong? Because he's not doing anything. Let's review what we have. So we have a male model. If we look at the rig, he's a humanoid. Perfect. We have an idle animation, humanoid. Perfect. Now look at the male itself. Doesn't have a runtime controller. That would do it. So go ahead and bring that runtime controller over. And now you should be into idle with the neutral face, and then he'll hopefully go through each of those steps. So he's in idle, neutral face. Oh, yep, there's one more thing I forgot to do. Alright, so I'm going to stop this, and we're going to go to the animator. And one important thing to look at is on the face layer itself, we forgot to set a weight for it. So we want to make sure any morphs on here overwrite where it says blending, overrides what the previous layer has. So since all this stuff doesn't have information about bones or anything, it won't modify how he's standing and everything. It's just going to affect his face morphs. So, okay, that is one. No, hit play again, and I'm pretty sure we'll be good now. There he goes, and he's smiling. Now he's angry, neutral. And he just does this over and over again based on our animation controller or animator controller. Okay, so I think that does it for part 2 of Blendshape characters. What we're going to be looking at next is clothing and hair, and maybe some good ways, or at least some modular ways to add that kind of stuff. So don't go anywhere. Just come on back for part 3. Bye, guys.